Prof. Doc, are you an expert in policing?
Yeah, sorry. I beg your pardon?
Go to the mic, Doc.
Yeah, okay.
Are you an expert in policing?
An expert in, sorry, in?
Policing.
Policy, I know quite a bit about it, actually.
Not policy.
Yeah.
Not policy. Policing.
Policing?
Yeah, policing services.
I did research on policing in the 90s. I wrote a report on policing based on research. And I have written a lot of stuff on violence that includes assessments of policing. I think I did a conference paper on policing. I don't know what an expert on policing is, actually. I mean, short of being a lawyer who knows all the laws and things like that. Yeah.
So was that research an academic research?
It was academic. Yeah. I mean, the research report, the research was academic. I did in the late 90s. So
you were doing it with which accredited higher education institution?
At the University of Natal, where I was teaching anthropology, and now it's the University of KwaZulu-Natal because it amalgamated with the University of Durban-Westville. There were two universities, and we're now University of KwaZulu-Natal, by which time I had retired.
Okay. So let's go to your deposed affidavit. Mm-hmm. It looks like it largely relies on hearsay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying it looks like.
It looks like it.
Yes, because in each and every paragraph you make mention that so-and-so said this, so-and-so said this, so-and-so said this. What is your comment on that?
No, it's okay. It wasn't hearsay to me. It was direct communication with people. Most of it is there, apart from where I say, as we have discussed at length, that I have to protect especially, it's mainly the police that talk to me, whose identities I cannot reveal. But the information I compiled as part of this report is direct information from people who've experienced the task team or have worked as a detective with the task team, including lawyers for some of the people who've been charged by them. So for me, it's not hearsay. Now, I also want to stress that most of these people are dying to give evidence to someone about their own experiences. I have begged even police members to go and do it in camera, but a lot of people who've experienced this say, yes, I can't wait to go and give evidence myself.
Okay. So you get information about PKTT from policemen, some of them, from community members, some of them, and from prisoners, yes. Some of them.
Prisoners who have not yet been found guilty and are innocent in terms of the Constitution until they're found guilty.
Okay. So do you apply the audi alteram partem rule after having received this information?
I try to, but I don't get responses from...
What do you mean you tried? Explain the tried part.
Okay. I try to, how can I say? I tried to communicate when Thabisa Zulu's phones were seized without a warrant, without an order. I phoned General Khumalo personally. He couldn't explain it. He said he didn't know about it. He never followed it up, did he? Because I did write to Mchunu and I wrote to Parliament and nobody followed it up. What can I do? I don't get responses from the police anymore. I complained to General Masemola about the fact that the...
Doc, can you hold there?
Yeah.
I don't think you're answering.
I know. Okay, you wanted me to be brief. Right.
You
I'll
are
do my
talking
best.
about, wait, Doc. You are talking about you complaining about police action in that particular incident. The point I'm making is
Yeah.
you receive information about the irregularities of the PKTT from people. But do you ever take time to ensure that you get the side of the story from the PKTT itself, so that whatever findings you formulate are based on both sides of the story? Do you get it now?
I do indeed, but how do I get it if they don't want to give me the information when I write to them and ask questions?
Okay, have you communicated with the General Dumisani Kumalo, the project leader of the PKTT, when you received information about the things that is alleged the PKTT is doing?
No, I stopped communicating with them because
So you did not solicit a view from the PKTT before making findings about the PKTT?
Look, I am reporting what many people have said independently about the actions. I'm reporting in some of the stuff that's on court records with lawyers that are working for these people. I have tried, you know, in the first days of democracy, I would get responses from the police. I've given up largely because I have a lot of letters on record. I mean, I wrote to General Masemola and said, the political killings task team, look, here are attached statements. What are you doing about it? I never got a reply. So that's why I copy to the police,
Okay.
so that they can say, come back to me and say, no, this is wrong, and give me an explanation, and they don't do it.
Okay, let's pass that, Doc. Section 16, subsection 2 of the Powers, Privileges and Immunities of Parliament and Provincial Legislators Act requires you to give Parliament information wherever you are required to. Then on what basis are you refusing the ad hoc committee to give the information that it requires, including the names that were requiring you to give the ad hoc committee?
May I just explain? I don't know. I have this very few cases here where I have not spoken personally to people, and very few cases I've given names. The only people whose names I have not given are people that I cannot, according to my own professional ethics, as a social worker, as an anthropologist, as a human rights defender, reveal names because they might endanger the lives of the people, and they are police members. I'm trying to explain this because I think the Honourable Chairperson put it very well. I thought I'd explain by referring to ethics. But I also cannot, I am not in a position to investigate them myself, and Parliament does not have the capacity in terms of resources to have a skilled forensic investigator to do some of the work that needs investigating. It's as simple as that. So I cannot go blurting out names of people who might be killed before there's an investigation.
Okay, Doc, we'll pursue that. Let's go to your paragraph 5. Paragraph 5. So we're going to compare this paragraph against the background. You are saying that you can't say names of people who are in the police service because you might be risking them losing their lives. I mean, their lives or their jobs or getting persecuted. That's what you said, Prof.
Well, those that are not, if I can just reply, these are people that are not already publicly named. All the people I'm referring to have been in court reports, have been in the media. I am referring to members who are not in the public domain.
Yeah, because it looks like there are some you mentioned You have mentioned Captain Fine of the National Intervention Unit who was promoted at some point. You mentioned Magistrate Kumalo, who you say has even been reported to the Magistrate Commission. So as it appears, what would think that you mention those you don't like and you don't mention those you hold dear? What will be your view on that?
Okay. Right. Everybody knows that Colonel Finn is running around with this task team. You know, the people are saying it, it's not secret. These are people we are paying. We taxpayers, these are public servants. We're entitled to name them if they're doing an official job like this. They're not,
But Prof, you said, Doc, you said, apologies for interjecting. You said, there is a member of the police service who contacted you after the political killings task team dissolution letter, who wanted to give Minister Mchunu information. So that person, you pay that person as a taxpayer as well, but you are refusing to mention him. But if that's the logic you want to use, that these are public servants, you pay them, you are taxpayers, but the same person you are hiding from Parliament is a person who is in the public service, who actually is under the payroll of the state.
I think anyone who has access to intelligence information in the police is surely not named public. This man is just a very experienced detective. He's more or less retired. I think he may have retired by now. But he's very much, these retired detectives I hear keep in contact with each other, the retired police. Now, he would definitely be at risk. And I could not mention a name unless I asked him. He may end up giving evidence himself. I would like him to, but he has to decide. As for the magistrate Kumalo, it's in a report done for the court. Court proceedings are open. It's in a report done by the advocate for one of the accused in the case, applying for the case to be reviewed. Not only that, Magistrate Kumalo's name is on a charge sheet for our former Chief Magistrate Nzimande, who's being charged by the Magistrates Commission. And on the charge sheet is the very same Magistrate Kumalo's name as having paid to get his position. Now, that's a court document. It's public. So, there's a difference here with people that talk to me in complete confidence and don't want to lose their jobs. And all I am asking is for people, and you wanted the information about my communications with Mchunu. So if I'm going to be honest, I have to say, well, this is what I did.
Thanks, Doc. Let's go to your paragraph 13 and 14. You talk about people who are held in custody and who are refused bail.
13, yes.
13 and 14.
Yes.
We're talking about people who actually refuse bail and try to pinpoint that to the PKTT.
Yes, so that's point 13, right?
Yeah,
yes.
And 14 is speaking about almost the same thing.
Yeah.
So how is it a problem of the PKTT that people were refused bail by judicial officers?
Because in one case, the charges should have been withdrawn immediately. Within days of charging these members, I've been dealing with a lawyer for these members as well. Within days of charging the members, the PKTT, and it's the only political case, right, that's their mandate. The PKTT were on duty that night. There's OB entries, AVL entries, phone record entries, and a statement from their station, their commander, that they could not have got over an hour's journey away and killed someone. Right. That case was never withdrawn. The other three cases, the state dragged its heel by wasting court days. I mean, one day, 5 days set aside. The prosecutor gets to court, sorry, not using today, I'm not prepared. I don't know, how do you get away with not being prepared as a prosecutor that we are paying? They're paying lawyers for that day because the lawyers only hear when they get to court that the prosecutor's decided he's not prepared. We've charted these delaying tactics, deliberate. That's the one where they didn't use the day when he went to the High Court.
But
now,
you understand, Doc, that bail refusal is a judicial decision, not a PKTT decision or an NPA decision.
I have explained that the problem goes back to Advocate Thaba, against whom there are very serious allegations, and all I wanted and asked of the National Director of Public Prosecutions that she would deploy a very senior, completely independent judicial person to check the dockets, and she refused to do. So that's the same prosecutor that there's another affidavit about how he's trying to fabricate evidence. Now, there are cases where police are given bail when they kill people. Most cases, the police get bail because they've got a fixed abode. And the case has been dragged on unnecessarily.
Okay, Doc. No, it's fine.
And there's a statement, the Constitution says you are entitled to a speedy. That there should not be an undue, this is an unreasonable delay when it drags on like this. The minute the defense gets to be able to present its case 3 years after the beginning, and there's another 6 months delay.
Okay, let's pass that side apart. You reckon that it was completely unnecessary for the PKTT to be established?
Yes.
Do you know the process leading to the PKTT establishment?
Only from what I know the process very well. I was part and parcel of the Morani Commission. They relied on me for information. I gave them evidence. I've got their report. I also know the political situation in KZN very, very well. I mean, I know there's all sorts of factions in politics. I know, the same everywhere. Anyway, I know it's very dangerous because we are the hit.
Honorable Nqola is disturbing my witness.
Yeah.
Chair, sorry, point of order, Chair. Can she speak to the mic, please? Because she's...
Sorry. Yeah, I don't know whether I'm supposed... Must I address the chairperson with this or with the questioner, Chair?
Still look at him, because I see that both of you are enjoying the eye contact.
Okay. No, look. Okay, let me get back to...
It's a whole vibe happening there, Chair.
We don't know. All we can say is these people are in politics and the motive may or may not have been political. We had a very good, I'm saying because I can speak from experience, that the provincial team was doing a good job. Now, you asked about the...
Doc, the process leading to the establishment.
The process. I know that Mr. Nqola, former Minister Nqola, or whatever he wants to be called, because he loves his uniforms and being called a general, I know that he's a very powerful politician. He's a populist. He's got he was on the national executive, I think, at that stage. So he's got a lot of sway in politics, right?
Doc.
And I think that
the process leading to the...
Yeah, I think that he drove it. That's what I'm saying. I think he drove it without a doubt. And I think, let's say this, let me put it in academic terms. Suppose they didn't like what came out at the Morani Commission, and suppose they didn't like the fact that a lot of arrests had been made that were going to lead to some pretty senior politicians. And that was the case in two of the cases.
Let's do like that, Doc. Let's stop.
Okay. So for all we know, they could have deliberately set up a team to
Just
sabotage.
Just a moment, Honorable Nqola. You went to testify at the Mchunu Commission,
Yes,
and when was it?
2017. And the report was released in the middle of 2018, around the time the task team was established.
Okay. And then it is your submission here that the PKTT is as a result of the Mchunu Commission.
Well, yes, that's common knowledge. They say it was because of the Morani Commission it was actually set up. That's what the official explanation was.
Okay. And then the honorable member, when he asked you, you said that you were actively involved in the process.
Yes.
Leading to the formation of the PKTT.
No, I was involved in the process involving the Morani Commission. The evidence leader came to me wanting lists of people killed, which I gave him, and I gave evidence to the commission. So
the process leading to the PKTT, you were not actively involved?
No, I wasn't. But I mean, I looked as far as I could when I was asked to write that article. I don't know whether there was as far as I know, there was no official notice of establishing it. It was obviously an interministerial decision. Yes, you can go ahead and let's have a team. That's the way I read it.
Okay.
But I do know that it was the minister communicated to the National Commissioner at the time, who established a structure for the team.
It's fine. I want to hand back to Honorable Nqola to continue.
Okay.
Thanks, Chair. Doc, it does appear that you really do not know how the PKTT was established. This is what happened. This is what happened, Doc. There was a person who was murdered in KwaZulu-Natal. Then President Cyril Ramaphosa visited the home of that person and later established an interministerial committee, which is a subcommittee of cabinet, which has actually made recommendations that a task team be established to deal with political killings in KwaZulu-Natal. Now, let's leave it now. The second question would be, you reckon that those who were there before the establishment of the PKTT were actually doing the job greater than this. Do you know how many cases were registered, politically aligned killings registered before the establishment of the PKTT?
Well, they were working from the lists I had. They've quoted the lists that I gave to Morani Commission. And you mentioned, yes, I know the case you're talking about. It was a very prominent Ramaphosa supporter called Mchunu in Pietermaritzburg. He was murdered, and the provincial detectives had arrested and charged people. And the task team came in and withdrew the charges. Yeah, that's what happened.
Doc, I am looking for stats. I'm saying, how many politically related killings cases were registered before the establishment of the political killings task team?
I think it was, look, I don't have those lists with me, but they were at least, but that was up until the end of 2017, I think it was something in the region. It depends on the period. I think for the period Morani wanted, there were about 150 deaths. I think something like that, but I couldn't tell you offhand. I don't have the figures here.
This is 150.
Honorable Nqola, do you still have further questions?
But carry on.
Thank you, Chair. Doc, do you know how many politically related cases were registered after the political killings task team establishment?
I've got a list, but not with me.
Doc, do you know how many?
I don't know how many.
You
I
don't
can't tell you the number because I haven't even got a tentative number. The list is at home.
Do you know how many accused persons have been convicted after the establishment of the PKTT?
I'm trying to find out.
You don't know, Doc.
There are no, I cannot get records of the dockets they took.
Doc, you don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what dockets they took. I know that some of them aren't even.
The answer that says I don't know is enough, Doc.
Dr. Haas.
That's my answer. I don't.
It's enough, Doc. You're saying.
The honorable member.
Yeah.
At the time you wrote this letter in October.
Yeah.
Did you know how many convictions have been?
I had a rough idea from the public releases. That's all, because I couldn't get details anywhere. I am still looking for them, and I will certainly.
Did you know at the time? Did you know or didn't you know?
I had a rough idea, but I didn't know for sure because I didn't have the statistics and the breakdowns. That's the reason.
He did not know, honorable member. Can we move to the next question?
Yes, I'm quickly moving. So you don't know how many cases were registered, how many convictions were registered before and after. So let's take it that you don't know, and you are in no space to actually compare something you are not aware about. Let's pass that thing. Let's go to specifically the Magaga case. The Sindiso Magaga case.
Yes.
Yeah, you make mention of it on paragraph 15 of your it's paragraph 17.1. Yeah, you make mention of the Magaga case. Do you know who was the detective who was leading the case?
The provincial team were investigating the case. That's why the docket was transferred to the political killings team. In fact, the imprisoned Dlamini was one of the investigators.
Okay. Who made a breakthrough in the case?
Who?
Who made the breakthrough?
Yes,
in relation
the team made the breakthrough, yeah.
Who arrested the mayor and the other accused?
They were they got the information together which led to them being charged.
What was the role of General Dumisani Khumalo in that investigation?
I don't know where he was then, quite honestly, because he was, as I said, he was floating around doing all the arrangements, the project arrangements, and then he figured at some stages in alleged instructions to some of the members.
Did General Khumalo not lead the breakthrough in the case?
In that, as far as I know.
General Khumalo was not involved.
Well, certainly not in any of the investigations.
We have got a different evidence in front of us, but it's fine. Let's pass. You speak about organizational structures. Particularly, you speak about an organizational structure of the PKTT. And we are comparing that with an E2 of 1990, that it had a better organizational structure compared to the PKTT.
The structure, can I answer that? The structure in the 90s was the typical type of structure that had been set up for short-term task investigations for political killings.
So did you consciously compare apartheid police to a democratic dispensation?
It was democratic. It was the Mandela government and Favers was the national commissioner. This was the late 90s.
Okay. Do you perhaps know that the more the population grows, the more the needs of society actually change?
In some respects, yes. But, I mean, policing, I mean, it stands to reason that if you have a task team, it's for a specific purpose and it is controlled by senior detectives.
Okay. You speak about that it was unnecessary for the PKTT to be established to protect politicians who you pay handsomely and they're doing no job.
Some are, some aren't.
Do you know how much a ward councillor of a grade 3 municipality earns? Have you made a research to that effect?
Let me just explain this. I deal with poor people who don't even have jobs, or they're informal sector, they get no protection. When someone's killed, the cases seldom get to court. So we're talking relative here, relative to that. I also know that some councillors wouldn't be there if they had to apply in the open market for a job. And a lot of these councillors have protection, remember.
Doc,
they can draw on...
Doc,
yeah. So
have you made a research on how much does a ward councillor of a grade 2 municipality earns?
No, I haven't.
You haven't.
I'll tell you why. Because it wasn't a paid job in the past.
That response of you haven't is enough. With what authority do you think that these politicians, you pay them handsomely? And you'll recall that we talk about mostly councillors here, because it's councillors who are mostly affected by the political killings. So with what authority, if you have not made any research of how much what councillors earn, with what authority do you say you pay them handsomely and they're doing nothing?
Relative, I'm not saying they're all doing nothing. I'm saying a lot of them aren't. We have
no, Doc. In the statement, you did not say some of them.
I didn't. I do not. I could have found out what they earned, but
Doc,
this is relative to the majority of the population.
Doc, this is your statement.
Yes.
You signed on it.
Yes.
You initialed every page. You did not say some politicians. You said politicians who are doing nothing, who you pay handsomely. Now, I'm asking, if you have not done a research of how much a ward councillor of a grade 2 municipality earns, with what authority are you saying you pay them handsomely?
Well,
where did you get that?
As I've seen, they make a reasonable living out of being a councillor, and I don't think compared with so many people in this country who can't even find a job, it's a relative term and it's a general term.
The time has come to an end, and I see...
Completed my term.
Yeah.
Yes, Chair.
There was at some point where I interjected. I can give you 3 more minutes. And Doctor, may you please, like I requested, be precise when you answer questions. If the questions requires a yes or no answer, just say yes or say no. Don't say yes and no. You just say yes or no.
I'm sorry, but sometimes it needed qualification.
Responding to me, he has not asked you a question.
Yeah. Thanks, Chair. Chair, can you also consider that Honorable Kanyile says must also proceed on her behalf? Okay. Doc, do you believe on the principle of governing on the will of the people?
Yes, I do. And again, I could qualify that. Anyway, carry on.
Okay. Do you not think that the perpetual killing of public representatives is actually silencing the will of the people?
No. You wouldn't get such competition to be a councillor if people felt threatened by being a councillor.
No, still you don't get me. I'm saying you have got councillors elected by communities whom are ascending to be councillors on the basis of being voted by the majority in a ward. Isn't that the will of the people?
Yeah, that's a subject that we need a lot longer to discuss, because what I find is that we haven't done nearly enough voter education about why people vote for people when they never ever get to see their councillors.
The why is a different discussion. Yeah. But the point is, those elected public representatives elected on the basis of the will of the people, and those that which perpetually continue to kill them are actually silencing the will of the people. Isn't that true?
No, I don't agree, because, I mean, what about, I mean, it's superficially maybe, but what about all the other important people that are working in the community that are getting sick?
You are focusing on a different subject. I'm saying.
Yeah, but we're talking.
We agree, me and you now, that those who are elected ward councillors, for example, are elected on the basis of the will of the people. Then if there is a grouping that perpetually seek to murder or unalive those who are elected, that is actually silencing the will of the people of that community. Do you agree?
Can I just explain? You would need...
No, don't explain. Don't explain, Doc. The chair is on my neck. Don't explain.
That councillors are generally at risk. They're not. A lot of councillors just get on with doing their jobs and they're not...
No, Doc, still you're not answering me.
I've answered you.
We have not. We have not, Doc. Is killing a person who is as a result of the will of the people not silencing the will of those people? It is. Do you agree that if we elect you as our ward councillor, as the people of this parliament community, is our will as the people, then those who will come and kill you are actually silencing our will, which is the people.
Well, what if the councillor was corrupt? You might be doing...
No, let's leave that.
No, but Doctor...
No, let's leave that.
No, Doctor. Even if a person is corrupt, the person does not deserve to be killed.
No, nobody deserves to be killed. Nobody, no matter how crooked or corrupt, nobody.
Honorable Nqola, your time has come to an end, unfortunately.
We
are going to move to the MKP.